this is going to come off as a surprise to most viewers. But you know, Geb is live. Uh-huh. Quite the surprise, isn't it? Go to Discord. There we go. Sorry, I was replying to some messages I had in Discord. Now let's put that there and wow, there's a lot of people commenting immediately. What do you know? Give me a minute, chat. Putting this here. Putting this there. And we're set. Hi, chat. Good evening. There. Better. Ah, it seems my overlay is a bit too small, so put that there. Enlarge. There. Perfect. Increase the opacity a bit. Alright, so let's see who is here tonight. So we have Gal. We have Boopkin. Good evening. We have Zanky Dog. We have Matthew. We have Max Howler. We have Axiom. We have TikTok, who just gave me a bunch of coins. Thank you. We have Marbles the Bat. Good evening. How have I been doing? For the past 3 hours, I was actually recording things. I have around 4 stories recorded. They're 20 minutes on average each. So yeah, I made sure that a broad category has been selected when it comes to the reading material. Well, at least not so different that they seem to alienate each other, but yes. Watching for the first time, I found you on Instagram. Your voice is so soothing. Hi there, Saria. Welcome to the stream. This is, yeah. Yeah, this is what I do. I do, Lakata. The Littles, Nikki the Fox. I'm actually taking this stream as like my break time, if that actually makes sense. How do you get your face tracking to be so responsive? I have the Quest Pro and mine isn't that good. Serious answer? A lot of factors. What face tracking template are you using? What avatar are you using? How much can you actually move your facial muscles and everything? You know, these factors. I hope it was a fun recording. You know, I actually did have fun. I was reading it was a piece by Edgar Allan Poe. It definitely has the accent you guys know and love. I'm excited to show you guys the preview. How many takes? 1. Oh, no. 2. The first story I read, I had to retake. Like, I definitely am not practiced in reading novels. That's for sure. The last time I've ever really read a book that doesn't have pictures would probably be when I was in high school. And that was in the early 2000s. And another shift but night. Good luck on the stream. Alright, Marbles. I'll see you around. Thank you always for throwing random stuff my way. Hi there, Bryson. I can't wait. No worry, we're gonna release it this month. 100%. Maybe in a week, who knows? Definitely have to target it by before virality. Ooh, virality, huh? Gotta get my outfit paired. Maybe I just paint some gold stuff in Substance Painter. Are you 40? In age? No, not yet. You may be wondering why my eyes are like trained like there, because that's where like all your messages are, and that's where the camera is. Hello, art girl. Lean who? Where are you from? Your accent sounds similar to mine. I am an islander. I am from the Philippines, Southeast Asia. This new location is very classy. Ah, this is actually one of the first locations that I streamed in. If you were watching me since circa around February, January, December, November, this place may seem familiar to you. An office. How apt, right? Yeah, but I hope your dinner went well, says Where Chaos. Thanks. I hope you have eaten as well. Good evening, Sia. Have you ever considered doing ASMR? You mean like whispering in the mic? Not really. Not that particular uh, category of ASMR, no. I've also noticed I'm on the top left. Hold on. Turn, turn, turn. There we go. Now I'm in the middle. Better idea of where I am. It's this one. Hi, chat. Pin 2 is that one. About. Pin 3 is the requested point of view. So, yeah, that's me. Hmm. It's definitely a desk. That's no, you're not supposed to see that. That's I don't drink coffee, so I don't drink that. Normally I have guests over there, and that's a new beanbag, but yeah. Anywho, where were we? Let's put the camera back to how it should be. Which is this. How do you control the camera so well? I don't know. I don't even have VR Chat Plus. I just use the basic camera. How are you still awake at 2:38 a.m.? You see, I had an adventure with my bed. Yes, prior. And by adventure, I mean I overslept, so I have enough stamina to stay up again here during midnight. Back to being a night owl, I guess. How's the investigation going? There are no case files right now, so I have a bunch of free time, which I'm using to record some stuff. Ooh, reading things straight is actually really taxing for one's throat. Huh. Thank you, Jason. Are you using Blender? No, this is VR chat. You want me to prove this is VR chat? Here, hold on. So you see that, right? Mask, UI. Oh, voila, a green screen. No green screen, I'm gone. You make an edit chat. Make it wholesome. So you're a Filipino. Yes, I am. If you use your eyes and go to my profile, you'll actually see that I have our nation's flag over at the header. Hi there, Kiri. Small world it is. It seems like we have some chatters that are friends with each other. Always nice to see acquaintances reunite. Don't mistake it for the Czech Republic. I have seen the similarities.
But moonbeams being gold are something I can't behold.
My
'Cause
glucose
I was
guardian is gaming while I
born
eat
to
lunch.
be
He isn't a
blue.
glucose guardian no more, though, right? He's been promoted to
When
like
I met you, the world was bright and
boyfriend.
sunny. When you left, the curtain fell.
I need some pizza too,
I'd
Richie.
like to
Oh, man,
laugh,
if only.
but
Thank goodness
there's
I'm only a
nothing that
little bit
strikes me
hungry, not super
funny.
hungry.
Now my world's a faded
Good evening,
pastel.
Fiel.
Well, I guess I'm luckier than some folks. I've known the thrill
Speaking of
of
which, did you know last
loving,
night I was approached by, oh my goodness, here I
and
am again,
when
really bad with
all
names. I
is
was approached by a
over,
very
then
talented
I was
content
created
creator, the
for. 'Cause
Vice
I was born
Color
to
Pink
be
Fox and does music
blue.
videos on TikTok. They expressed interest in collaborating. And I said, what can I do? All I do is like sit around and yap. And you know what? They gave me a most confidence inspiring reply. No, they gave me a most confident reply. They said, I make any aesthetic work, darling. I was like, wow, strong personality. That's what I like. I
When
need to
I
get
met
back to them
you,
sometime this week. Maybe after I do my
the world
recordings.
was bright and sunny. When you
Yeah, the whole
left, the
sassy gating.
curtain
I make any
fell.
aesthetic work, darling.
I'd like to laugh, but nothing strikes me
Phoenix is
funny.
asking, do you ever host meets?
Now
Been
my
looking to meet
world's
new
a
friends.
faded pastel.
Before I used to have community meets. You may have probably
I
heard that from
guess
me
I'm
in previous
luckier than
streams,
some
but I always
folks.
inadvertently
I've
run
known the
into bad
thrill of
characters, bad actors,
loving,
and that pretty much dissuaded me
and
from
that
doing
alone
like
is
altogether.
more than I was created for.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I was born to be blue. 'Cause
Hey,
I was
can't blame me
born
for
to
being
be
careful, right?
blue.
That's why I'm not in any streamer circles, furry circles. It did you know I only have like one, two, hold on, let's toss my card. One, two, three, four, five. I have only like five or six friends. Yeah. The rest are just acquaintances, really. I've met a lot of people too. But just like leaves in the wind, they get blown away in a moment's notice. People can indeed be rather bizarre in their taste and how they express it. Hello, Void Cat. Well, happy birthday to you yesterday. Yeah, but you should network. It should like boost your stream so much. I'm good, thank you. Listen, if there's something I stand by. Popularity, numbers don't equate to quality. You may have all the viewers in the world, but you gotta ask yourself, who is your target audience? Are you willing to walk through a crowd in that number? No. So I don't mind my numbers being low, as long as I have the quality instead. Wow, if it isn't a sending over a galaxy. Goodness me. Thank you. Yo, I love your Nova. It's so good, says Thorson. You mean my previous? Funny, this isn't a Nova Beast. It may look like a Nova Beast, but the 5 digits would be a dead giveaway. But I appreciate the compliment all the same. But yeah, Ace, thank you. Thank you for the galaxy. I really appreciate it. Quality over quantity for sure. True, King, right? Gal says, I mean, we're almost at 50 viewers, so I don't think you need any boosting. But there is one goalpost I do want, and that is being Twitch partner. It'd be cool having the funny little check mark on your name. Luder Crucil says, no networking was needed to gather a loyal fan base. Your streams are still going up in viewership. I consider myself lucky whenever I do experience actual growth. So thank you, Chad. It's all thanks to you, really. Hi there, Style Mess. I don't think I'm smart enough for this clever streamer, says Killer. Nah, what do you even mean? Huh. So, question, says Kiri. You are Filipino, so do you only speak English and Tagalog, or do you speak Spanish as well? You see, the Tagalog language actually has a bunch of borrowed Spanish words. We often count our numbers with uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Or when we have a fever, we call it a trancazo. So yeah, probably because we were colonized by the Spaniards for over 300 years, and they just recently left the country, and by recent, by over 100 years ago. By the way, Geb, I'm not sure if you saw my tweet, but you actually remind me heavily of Mordecai from Lackadaisy. I really need to watch the animation. I remember reading it when it was still in comic form many, many years ago. Axiom says my boyfriend has a magical superpower of needing things when I start focusing on stuff. Welcome back. I did listen. Well, I did listen to a Spanish streamer. It hurt. What do you mean? I remember checking the other day. I think it was a Spanish streamer with like, correct me if I'm wrong, like, was it 4 million or 14 million followers? It was crazy on Twitch. And they were in VR chat. Concurrent viewership at the time I peaked was at like 16K. Wow. Angel's asking, Gib, if the model isn't a Nova, how come it looks so similar? Well, the answer is easy, really. I like the Nova aesthetic. You, well, I put my. This is a Volper, chat. This is a Volper head and a high ended body. So I went to the magical grafting station, which is called Blender. I've decided to do a little bit of sculpting, a little bit of kit bashing, and then lo and behold, the chimera that is Gebus is born. He's not a Nova. He's part Volper and part Hyanid. A good blend, I dare say. Blender's actually fun, chat, as long as you are actually able to make progress. The teeth reminds me of cat teeth, says Art Girl. I love it. Here, have a zoom. I'll always be proud of my oral hygiene, chat. Why, if it isn't the ever so cute Princesita Mystical Aurora. Hi there. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Reams is asking, are you having fun doing the recordings? Enjoying the process so far? Actually, I am. It reminds me of the joy I had whenever the teacher would assign students to do readings on books back then in high school. It's fun. It took a while to jumpstart reading. I mean, I had to look for public domain novels that I could read. I had to like find a way to make it work here in VR chat where I can actually read it properly. And well, I actually managed to make some progress. Yes. I heard her sound. Ooh, oh, I almost lagged. Controller. No break. Anyway. I almost lost my cool there. Why? Because the philanthropist is here again. Goodness me. What have I ever done to deserve your attention? But yeah, thank you so much. Gosh. Whew. Good thing I streamed today, huh? More lasagna for me. Hi there, good. Well, I don't know what time it is there, but good day to you, philanthropist. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the stream. Well, chat, guess what? Thanks to philanthropist's rather generous support drop, you will be assured you're gonna have a great stream tonight from yours truly. By great, I mean I'm gonna be high spirits. Philanthropist says, good to be back. I just finished a late breakfast and thawing a steak. See, whenever somebody is talking about thawing a steak, it means they have one of those nice expensive fridges. They probably even sous vide their steaks, so it's nice and soft when they cook it later. Vacuum sealed bags, temperature controlled water, 4 hours. Oh, delicious. Whoa! If it isn't the principal of animation's example, Dervish himself. What brings you here? Why grace my streams with your oh so animated presence, good sir? Nice to see you. Chat, I don't think it needs to be explained. If you want something that is very, very, very movementastic, animated, entertaining, go to Dervish. Derv says, oh, I just browse while setting stuff up. Well, Derv, I wish you the absolute best in your streams. I don't know how you do it where you don't get tired of like moving around all the time. But I get the same question of people asking, you don't get tired of just sitting and yapping all day. We just do what we're good at. Hi there, Bryce. Can you use Blender on a tablet? I actually don't know. That's a good question. I know there are like 3D programs you can use on, like, let's say, an iPad. I can't say for certain if there's one for Android. Derv says, the difficulty in it is at least you're not sweating your face off with it. Mine is an incredible well, at least you're getting the exercise in. If I remember correctly, didn't you have like the pie shock thing? Let your chat torture you for their entertainment. I'm not getting it, chat, no. Or was it Wolf? What's this? Mystic says Dervish is the definition of live action animation, right? I does it so well. Does it so well. I wouldn't be surprised if Derv here is being used as an example in like art schools. Like for example, in these like local Asian schools, like here, for example, it's not uncommon where we use YouTube as our like resource for stuff. Chat, look at this: squash and stretch, anticipation, momentum. Yes, that and that. Ironic, isn't it? I studied in an art school. I graduated as an animation student. Yet here I am just sitting down. What's this? Dervish does have one, says philanthropist. Ah, I was curious. What if you equip the Bioshock things the same way one would equip like full body trackers? You have one on your neck, your forehead, you have like on each arm, your chest, your waist, your hips, like your your leggies and everything. Right? And then somebody with enough resources decides to activate all of them. Imagine 10-point tracking, but it said it's like 10-point shocking. You actually could. Yeah, Derv, you I think you can do it. If there's any person who could, that would make the world happy, it's you. Even when it happens, somebody tag me. I need to see it. I normally don't watch stuff. I'm an old gazer, probably, that's why. But would truly be entertaining. A friend of mine told me the pie shot collars are only like really worn on your like thigh or something for safety reasons, but I'm sure most of us don't really read the manuals, right? Whoa! Okay, now to address the kaching kaching. What is going on? Okay, let's check. That community subs from philanthropists. What do you know? Excuse me. Overtaking Marbles the Bat yet again. Goodness me. There's like a quiet competition going on. Hmm. But thank you. Times 10. What's this? There is a card that comes with it that states you're specifically not supposed to put it in certain spots, but you can have multiple together. Ah, yes. So when you have 10 of them, maybe 4 of them in your chest, we shall call it the defibrillator. So if like chat activates all 10, you pass out, they have to quickly activate it again so you're like resuscitate. Yes. Probably. Gebo's getting all the shock factors today without the need of a paisha. Oh, chat. Look, I'm bad with saying thank you, okay? Doesn't mean I'm not sincere about it. Wait. Yes. Album says, full body is so cool and is so immersive. I love how it can to life. Yes, precisely.
I think my man is seeing another woman.
Ooh, what's this? Nope, not that music. There we go. How about we just listen to the stuff I have here? Dance avec moi. No, not that. You know what? Fine, so be it. I'm in a rather positive mood today, and I'm sure you can guess why. What's that thing on your wrist? This is a watch. It doesn't show you the time, but it does show me. When I was raised, my mother always instilled to me look, walk, talk like a refined gentleman, even if you can't quite look it because the clothes are expensive. And being in the Philippines, it's impractical to wear a suit all the time. But if there's one thing that you should never miss, is always wear a wristwatch. something reinforced by my stepdad. And yes, whenever you have a watch, you do look more dependable, like you are a punctual person. VROSC, right? I remember. Oh, you're right. It does have an application, doesn't it? But it's fine. XSO overlay does the thingy anyway. And who really looks at my watch? So yeah. Details are indeed fun. Yes, I. mhm. Except if it's a smartwatch. Gab, you're streaming so early today. I actually stream 10 hours from now, but I just so happen to have some stamina after recording some of the stories I was reading, and lo and behold, I said, you know, why not? Let's go live and keep you guys company. Everyone looks at your. Okay, fine. I'm gonna open it. The thing. Did you know I actually never ran the app once? For the longest time, I've always thought, is my watch like busted? Hmm. And then I like saw in the install package, like, oh, you're supposed to run this app, like the VRC OSC thing. I'm like, man, that's like extra steps. Hmm. Any hints on what stories you read? One of them's from Edgar Allan Poe. I Let's just say it's an exercise in the accent, that's for sure. I like a good watch, can't be helped. You know what? Because Philanthropist said it, next stream I'm gonna make the watch work, okay? It's the Nixie Tubes watch here. Have a nice close old look. See, it shows 000 and it's permanently stuck at January 10. I'm sure it can probably have like a lore spin, like, no, this watch stopped at a significant date. Ever since I entered that anomaly, it never recovered. I can make it sound cool that way. But that's just an excuse to my laziness, yeah. May I ask what your personal watch is? Do you have a daily wear? I used to wear G-Shocks. Why? Because I always bump my wrist on everything. Me being an avid motorcycler, I have been through my fair share of crashes and wipeouts. I like riding in the dirt, enduro to be precise. So I needed something shockproof, weatherproof, mudproof, tree-proof. so so I needed something practical. As much as I wanted to wear like my what's this? My Panarea? I forgot. Panerai. I think Panerai is my formal watch. I can't wear it everywhere, and gosh, it's so heavy. So I just daily drive a G-Shock until it died, unfortunately. And now I just have one of those like Chinese watches that if they break, I can just replace them for like what, $30? Gab is a biker too. Chat, outside of VR chat and suffering through Blender, Unity, and Substance Painter, I ride motorcycles. And I love servicing them too. If a garage someday. If only. What? Yeah. Let me move. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm into bikes, chat. What's new? Derby says it kind of makes me want to make one that works on my avatar. I have it before. What's stopping you, my friend? Go ahead. Don't be like this lazy bum over here who can't even start this OSC app. Derv says I have a Samsung thing from my grandma. I'm still surprised I got that. Your grandma has a Samsung thing? Whenever I think of like, whenever I think of like heirlooms coming from grandparents, I would always think of it like these, like wartime watches and whatnot, like the handcrafted classics from a from way, way back. Ooh, that just made my brain blue screen. That's for sure. I'm already like plentifully blue. I we practice this. Dear Philanthropist, your continued support is not only one of my biggest motivators on stream. It's also pushed me to actually practice how to say thank you to people. And what better than looking them in the eye and keeping it simple and saying thanks. I appreciate it. Really. I guess I'll take it as a hallmark that I'm actually entertaining people and I'm worth their time. Oh, Mystic, I don't mean it that way. uh, is bro on break time? Technically, the stream is my break time. I have to get back to working on things after. Wait, I'm missing messages. Scrolling up. Oh my god, there's so many messages. The biker, the Samsung thing, servicing what? Servicing motorcycles. Using a Garmin. I was thinking about the Garmin until I saw how much they were. Like the one that I wanted with the GPS thing that was nice, not the lower end Garmins, was like $1,400, 1.5, and I said, "What if it breaks? I can't just buy a new one." Or look, to put things into perspective, when I used to work, for those that are unaware, when I used to work in a advertising agency a couple of years back, I was a graphics artist, you know, for make stuff for Honda, local banks, and whatnot. I would bring home, roughly computed, $450 a month, and then I have to like make it fit with bills, make it fit with laundry, make it fit with food. After all of that, even being frugal, I am left with around $50 of pocket money. So you can imagine how hard it was to save. Yeah, it was tough, chat. But I had to do it. I needed to work. How would I pay my rent? I managed to save up enough and well, I got the Quest Pro, which is probably maybe the best purchase I've ever made. Now that I'm able to connect with you. And yeah, the streams happened and we have fantastic people like Philanthropist here giving support. Thank you. No, I got an ad. Oh my. Axiom. Philanthropist says, I'm comfortable doing work in the yard with it or work in the car. If I have a watch that valuable, that's electronic, I would be wary. Look, I've been through 7 motorcycle accidents and luckily I walked away from all of them and 5 of them involved the pavement. 2 of them luckily were just soil. 7, yeah, 7. I've been riding bikes a long while. You see, I cannot stress how important riding gear is. Get the proper helmet, get body armor with like the pads, gloves, because you don't want to see like nasty stuff happen to your palms if you like try and stop yourself on asphalt. And then most importantly, riding boots. Oh man, getting an ankle injury is the worst. So, luckily, thanks to gear saving my life several times, you will never see me walking out to the mall not wearing motorcycle boots. It just became part of me permanently. So I have like black motorcycle boots that goes up like until here, right? It doesn't matter. Call me ridiculous. I'm never injuring my ankle again. Unprepared, at least. Dress for the slide, not. That's true until Dervish made it weird. Bad rider or bad drivers? Foxo, I think it would be the bad drivers around me. Why? Because they don't have licenses, most of them. Bikes are very dangerous. Keep yourself safe. I always put my mind into focus whenever I drive, don't worry. But it also makes you feel alive. Ironic. Machines that are the most dangerous are the ones that remind you the most of how beautiful life is. Oh, yeah. Is this a Starfield cutscene? No. May the 4th be. Alright. It's May 5th here. It's 3 a.m. I'm a little bit from the future, if you're in America. Maybe that's because it flashes before your eyes often. Yeah. Funny. The first crash, the first high speed crash, I was in a highway, I was going like in moderate traffic, like I think 110 kilometers per hour. I don't know how many that is in mph, like 65, 70. But the thing is, I like lane split. Lane splitting is legal here. I lane split very aggressively. It just so happens there was another bike who was lane splitting too, and I kind of rear-ended him. I flew, and my bike flew. I flew to the island in the middle of the road, which conveniently had one of those signs, like one of those traffic signs. My body just like like folded into it like a wet towel. And lucky enough, I stood up. Like, ooh. First thing that like got into my mind was, oh man, is the bike okay? It did a lot of people saw because it's the embarrassment. It's the embarrassment that gets to me. Like, damn, I wiped out. That's so uncool. And then the next succeeding crashes, I kind of just anticipate when it's gonna happen. Like, oh god, there goes the grip on my rear wheel. I'm gonna slide. It happened. How much am I gonna pay? For the fairings that got busted? Okay. There was one time I flew like underneath those like big vans with the sliding doors on the side? Yeah, I was feeling adventurous that day, and I saw like an incline, and I wanted to see if I could get some air. I did get air, except me and the bike were separated midway, and I ended up underneath said vehicle. Thank goodness the kind old lady who owned it didn't really mind, and I said, "Are you okay?" It's like from underneath like the van. I'm like, of course I paid for the busted rear fender that she got, but yeah. I can tell you more about the chat, but I don't think everybody's comfortable hearing about accidents. You flew to the island. Sounds like hell of a beach holiday. Not that island. Like the thing in the middle. The thing in the middle. Like where like all the plantations and the grass and whatever it is to separate like the incoming highway from the opposite side. You can't be living like it's GTA. I ragdoll just like how you would crash in GTA. And yeah, thank goodness I stand up all the time. Philanthropist says, alright, time to head out for real and hit up the shops. Need a couple of new shirts. You have a good one and see you later, Gab. I'll see you around, Philanthropist. Thank you. Hope you get some good shirts. Speaking of which, I need new shirts too. I'll see you next. Okay, now we're gonna scroll back again because I am. Ooh, there's so much chat. What's your favorite kind of motorcycle? Says Albemarts. I want to make fan art of you riding one. Chat, I'm gonna be transparent. I'm saving up for a Honda Africa Twin, the DCT. It's an adventure bike. I love adventure bikes. I know adventure bikes are not for everybody because you gotta be tall, you gotta be strong to handle the bike because they're heavy. Um, but yeah, I love them and I need them because of how bad the roads are in my country. I need a bike with good suspension that can go even when there's no pavement and at the same time be comfortable when I'm touring. And nothing quite fits the bill, nothing has enchanted me more than the nice white Honda Africa Twin. I'm doing all this for that bike, chat. And then I'm gonna save up for like a better place. Gebus's priorities, yes. Vesper says, I have no cool injury stories other than being 14 and jumping over a stack of gym mats. Not only did I learn I can pop my shoulder back into my socket, I broke an arm and a leg and ended up stuck in a wheelchair for 3 months. Wheelchair time is sucky time. That sounded wrong. Let me rephrase. Wheelchair time is a terrible time. There. Would you take a GoPro and record your travels? Mystic, that's a great question. Because last year, I was actually considering if I had the funds and I get the bike, the one I'm saving up for, actually doing little segments of my IRL stuff. But I'm not sure if that would really work well with the content I'm doing right now. I mean, here I am with the just chatting streams, and then all of a sudden, here you are in POV cam. All right, chat, let's go start up the bike. Press the starter. And then, yeah, you're going to see me just like doing that. I'm driving. Going left. No, you would get bored of that, chat. Would they? They probably would. Oh yeah. It's not so much as I'm conscious about how like hiding my face. If you go to my Discord, oh yes, this is public information. You can find a photo of me somewhere with my helmet. Maybe not without you. I think I posted that too. Somewhere in one of the channels. With how loud Philippine traffic is, I don't know if I could handle it. Yeah. That too. You guys will probably be surprised and pissed by all the pedestrians crossing in not pedestrian lanes. All the dogs crossing left to right. All the kids running around. So yeah. Mystic continues. You would be surprised, Geb. You do bring a diverse chat every time you stream. You know what? Maybe. If and when I get my funding goal, which I do not put on my stream, by the way, just the little coin thing here for TikTok because TikTok loves that. I will most definitely be doing a small video about me finally being able to buy my dream bike. Definitely. And I'm gonna make sure it's not my last video. There. What kind of background music do you use? Jazz. Jazz noir. Also, Seal, thank you so much for the 100 cheers. I mean, 100 bits, sorry. I totally did not notice that. What else did I miss? Yeah, yeah. Mm. All right, Jared. Sure. Says, people achieving their life dreams is something I was always love to see. There was a point in life where my life dream was just having a bathroom I could call my own, a mattress I could lay my back on, a roof to shelter me from the elements, 3 meals a day, and most of all, people I can trust again. Rough patches in life, chat. It happens. If you're going through challenges now too, what are you doing watching my streams? Focus on getting yourself back up on your faith. You can do it. If I did, I beat homelessness. You can too. I think that is waiting for you in the future. Yes. You know, maybe I shouldn't call it a dream bike. Dreams make it sound like it's fictional. Let's call it a goal bike. So it's something I'm working towards for. Kat says I can't even stand Dutch traffic and we're not really that bad. Oh my gosh. Google Manila traffic or Philippine traffic. Yes. That's all I can say. Yes. Foxo says you definitely need mods. What's up? I'm not seeing anything on TikTok, chat. What's this? I cannot stand Spanish traffic, says Oli. I can't imagine Filipino. It's bad. It's really bad. Oh, yeah, I did show Vesper. And I don't remember who else in chat. I was live streaming me being on my motorcycle one time or twice, and they saw how bad it was. Oh dear. All right, Foxel. Don't worry, they don't really get to me. Guys, he's on Twitch. Yes, yes, I am. I don't like how it went from warm to chilly here. Oh, what's that? Where is that thing I was listening to? But Loki is so fine here. I'm just in Spotify. I'm cycling through my music. Hold on. There we go. You know, this music is cute. It feels whimsical. We're gonna be playing that for a few minutes. Oh yeah, hold on. My arm trackers are sliding off. No wonder you look a bit weird. Okay, put that there, put that there. Yeah. Stand up, align. There we go. Now, where were we? Kat says I've seen the videos. There's a reason I'm still a passenger princess over halfway through my 20s. There's nothing wrong with being a passenger princess. You know, you got the comfortable route. There are times I wish I was in an enclosed vehicle with AC just blasting through my sweaty face, clean filtered cabin air, and music of choice playing. That isn't through my helmet. Sometimes. Most of the time, I'm glad I can still ride bikes. I remember that. Were you there, Missy? When I like streamed the driving thing? Also, who sent me? Oh, Exodus is sending me stuff. Bart Bossman sent me a tricycle, and you're amazing. A tricycle. Whoa, what's that? We detected inactivity. You know, TikTok, oh, it happens all the darn. Which object is used for rain protection? They're showing me a picture of like what looks like the universe, and there's two random umbrellas on it. Confirm. There we go. Yeah. TikTok really needs I know. I'm moving, chat. I'm moving. See, I'm gonna fall. Oh fuck! I cursed. Oh no! I can curse but once, and my content rating isn't gonna change. Geb's not a robot. Confirmed. I successfully solved the CAPTCHA, chat. That's how advanced Chat GPT is. Chat GPT. G for Gebus. Reemsey says, always wear a helmet for sure, but it's so amazing to feel the wind if you have long hair. Chat, I have long hair. It goes all the way down into my shoulders. My shoulder blades, rather. It's like until here. Ironic, I have very short hair here in VR chat. Either grains. Good. Gianna. Slavic Fox. Alright, go with ask your question. I wish I had hair, says Dax. I'm sure if you look at your arms and other parts of your body, you will find your hair being present. I can't seem to go to the Discord through the link. Has it expired already? You know what? Here, let me go pull up the Discord link real quick for people that want to join. Invite people, copy link. Twitch, I am about to paste the link in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and chat. That is the Discord link. I cannot post it on TikTok because of their rules. Unfortunately. Gabby's tall, a biker, and has long hair. Yes, chat. If you see a broad shouldered man wearing a fitted black shirt, motorcycle boots, and black pants with like glasses and long wavy hair, that's me. And also always a watch. I never go out without a watch. Go to my Discord, you'll see what I look like. It's there. A lot of people mistake me for being like a metalhead. Like, hey, what band do you listen to? Or more often, what band do you play in? They're gonna be like, how do you do the gesture? Rock on, man. I'm like, yeah, sure, buddy. I don't play. Oh my god, I must have seen you then, says Toivo. If it isn't Mr. Cruz, one of my greatest repositories of 3D knowledge. He helped me a whole lot. I know he's been always been running out of patience whenever I ask for assistance in Blender related matters. But he still stuck it out with me and helped me with various solutions that I needed. What's your Discord? Fine, here. TikTok, I'm gonna update the Discord link real quick just for you. Now, where's my scenes? If you look up here, you see this thing? The blue text with the black background? That is my Discord link. But that is the old link. This is the new link. Hold on. Give me 5 seconds. Control V. Apply. There you go. Toivo says, why were you riding your bike in Finland? I don't know, man. I maybe have happened upon a portal that just shot me through and like brought me back without even making me aware. Maybe. Hi there, Kian. Thank you. Oh, I forgot to put the juice back. I'm gonna hydrate you. Oh, where is my like mango juice? No, my gosh, it's useless, Lazarus. Hi. What headset are you using for face tracking? I am currently using. I'm not. Never mind. I'm using the MetaQuest Pro. There. I'm gonna go drink. I'm gonna go drink. Oh, Cat, it's time to hydrate. Wait. It's still covered, nice and well. Yeah, there we go. Where were we? About to redeem the hydrate, and here he is redeemed. Hydrating. Ha! I got a hedonistic. Well, I'm going to sleep, says Gal. I'm very tired. Good night, Gal. I heard you had a great time with Mecca. I'm glad he was able to show you around VRChat. Oh, Matthew's asking about Vesper. Vesper is currently at work. Gab's the reason I'm able to juggle work, says Vesper. 3 days a week in school, the other 4. He's an absolute sweet man. Oh, darling, you too. You're flattering me. I'll see you after work, eh? Hello, Podgy Po. Podgy Po. Sounds like a name you would give to a fat pet bird. Hey, Podgy Po. It's like chirp. And you can't help but feed him all day. What's this? I like rock, but Spanish rock. Ooh. What's this? I do play in a metal band, says Fiel, but I've also played in a swing big. Oh, very versatile of you. I played VR chat for 7 hours. Well, look at you. What a champ. Toivo says, I will be going to sleep soon as well. Lurking a bit before that. I hope you all have a nice dream. Bye, Mr. Truth. Don't be a stranger and say hello. Rest well. Hmm. Don't work yourself too hard. That's my job, says Vesper. Don't worry. Okay, sorry. Hmm. Man, I swear you have the best accent ever. Me? Me and my flawed English? Impossible. Uh, Hi there, person from Canada. For some reason, I can't join the Discord. No, just missed a whole hour of the stream, says Driver. Anyways, hi, Gab. Did I miss something? No, nope. You totally didn't miss anything. 100, 350%. It seems Fiel started their musical escapades with a trumpet. You're gonna go like doot doot. Oh wait, no, there's no like thing. That's a like. Yeah, there is. There is the thing that you like move. Oh God, why did I mime it and I don't have a trumpet chat? Please don't clip that. A trombone. There we go. That's a trombone. I'm sorry. I don't know what these instruments are. I tried lasagna from a cheesecake factory. It's good. 10 out of 10 points for eating lasagna. Your voice is so nice it's making me want to fall asleep. It's that calming. Good night and sweet dreams. Well, what do you know? Joey Joe Kelore. Oh my goodness, your name is so beautifully complicated. I'll call you. I don't want to use the name Joe. I'll name you Kilo. There we go. Ooh. Somebody just lit up my night with another galaxy. And none other from a guy named Griffin. Thank you, Griffin. Action says, wow, Gab, my window is open. What if my neighbors see you doing that gesture? Gab playing the trombone. Yeah. Oh, why did I do it again? That's your fault, Action. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Can you raise your hands if this is not a recorded video? Oh my, the cops are in my door. I swear, Sanya officer, I paid for
Corgo 100, Corgo 100.
Paji, thank you so much. You know what? Should I do? I'm gonna update my Discord link here, live on stream. Hold on, hold on. Let me get the stream elements real quick. It's in one of my 100 something tabs. Stream elements. Yes. You remember who I am. There we go. Where's my dashboard? My dashboard. Click that. Come on, buddy. Let me do my dashboard. Oh my. There we go. And then we go to the automated messages. So, chatbot, timers, and then Discord. Yep, there we go. So we're gonna delete that old link. Then we're going to Control V. Fantastic, like a champion. Save. Now we're gonna go to chat commands. We're gonna go to custom commands, Discord. There has to be a more easy way to do this. Control V. Save. There you go, everybody. Now, for those of you watching on Twitch, if you type exclamation point Discord, it should give you a proper valid Discord link now. I'm Bart from the TikTok, by the way. You always pop up when I need to study. Oh dear, am I a detriment to your academic pursuits? Close my stream. Focus on studying. Your grades matter more than me. Bad life advice from Reem. How do you fit those long ears under a motorcycle helmet? You see, there is a alternative way a lot of our long-eared riders don't know. And that is when you put your helmet in, you actually tuck your ears like forward, so like that. Why? So it's gonna wrap around your forehead. It's gonna wrap around your forehead like a bandana. That's how you do it. Mad life advice. Guy Deligitis. Wow, what a name. Hello, I saw you multiple times on TikTok but never actually stopped for good. Welcome to Twitch. I'm gonna sleep, but Gabe. Oh no. Do you want me to say goodnight to you, Axiom? What? Come on, so you can recuperate that head of yours that's been playing Abiotic Factor without Vesper and Mecha and me, and maybe you can work on the Minecraft server instead. And hop on back in VR chat now that you have a comfortable headset strap. Guy says, oh my god, you pronounce it right. Guy Diligent. Oh, I'll just say Kai. I might get it wrong the second time. Okay. I can't wait to graduate high school, says Butters the Protogen. Let me give you a piece of advice. Enjoy every single day that you're still studying in school. It's never gonna be the same once you're done, especially in the meeting people department. Don't zoom in, you're bigger than my darn table, says Axiom. I am going to chew on your table if you don't get some rest. Yeah, will anybody be joining you? Mecca is fast asleep because it is currently around 5 a.m. his time. Vesper is still at work, so no. I don't think we're having guests today. Just plain old me. Hi. For those of you that are new to my streams, I'm Gem. I sit, I chat. I'm trying 110% to be wholesome as much as possible, but sometimes the KFC it acts up. It's like poison in my head. It just yes. So yeah. Oh. Anyway, howdy Tyson, Piano, Kelly, Mary, Benny Boy. Axiom says, and I'm too shy to join stream. You, who has practically the best VR headset in the world, the Somnium XR1 Pro Max Limited Edition Moondust series. You not being wholesome, what? Uh, there are exceptionally rare moments where that kinda not gets maintained. Uh, Exceptionally rare. Like end of stream. When I listen to my meme music in Spotify. Do you have a house or apartment? I, being the frugal, lower class Asian citizen that I am, live in a very small apartment. It's a studio type, where if I look to the left of my bed, I can also see my bathroom, my kitchen, and the entrance to my unit. Mystic says, Axie, sleep or I'm replacing every sweets with vegetables. He's going to, he's gonna perish, that's for sure. What are your ears rigged to? They respond so amazingly. Cat, here's the secret. So I have two slime trackers. I like double-sided tape them to my ears. So that's 100% not totally making it up explanation. Yes. Wait, so you're still in uni? No, no. Oh my goodness. It's been over a decade since I've touched my college's academic floors. Are you Filipino? Yes, I am. It seems a lot of people are so surprised that I am from this little country in the equator. Those are some nicely made teeth. Somebody give this guy a cookie. One of the best night. Thank you. How do I find the Discord? Style. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, right? Rub your tummy while patting your head, and then after 5 seconds, type exclamation point Discord on Twitch. You'll magically get a link. The automated one has been updated, chat. I like your voice, it sounds friendly. See, I don't sound like a diesel engine, unlike a friend of mine. Imagine somebody just going in and say, Hey, how about you and I be friends? I can even copy the voice, it's that low. Shout out to the fantastic The Wolf. Loki Toki is asking for aren't you in the Discord, Loki? I could have sworn you were. Like way, way back. Also, hi there. How are you? Casper says, which company? Oh, I'm gonna sit properly. Which company are you the CEO of right now in VR? Ah, the company of my friends. That's for sure. No, Andrestia. Unfortunately, the Discord link only works if you're watching from Twitch. Hayes finds it funny. Those Gualemas. Yeah, says, oh, I get it. Geb sounds like Manuel Calavera from Grim Fandango. Grim Fandango? Is that the De La Muerte thing that I don't remember? Yeah, skull skeletons, Hispanic family setting. Hydrate! All right, sure. I'm gonna take a drink. I'm actually thirsty. Company name Happy Chaos. I still, I kind of miss the roller coaster mystic. It's so fun when there's four of us on it. We need to bring Axiom to the roller coaster. 100%. He recently got a new strap, so he can hop back in VR chat. Yeah. Yeah. Dia de los Muertos. Dia de los Muertes. Yeah. Nah, Geb works for me, Axie Industries. Yes. You see this? That's not an arrow. That's actually letter A for Axiom. Right, boss? Huh. Matthew says, we said we had to meet up Axiom in what better world than the mystical Aurora theme park? 100%. So yeah, Matthew, Axiom, me, Mystic Mecha, Vesper, we need to hang out one time. I think I stated all the friends I have in VR chat. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's my entire roster chat. I may seem popular. I'm not. The movie is the book of life, right? Book of life. I I hope we can do it. I miss VR. See, Axiom, I'm gonna be hanging out here after stream. Maybe. Probably. Oh, it's only been 1 hour and 18. Hmm. Vesper says, I'm under no company, but perfectly happy to kick rear when need be. The Vesper is not under my company anymore, she says. Time to visit a nice honey bath, a snow leopard, a certain mechanically inclined hyena. Who else? Can't remember. Who was that who just recently moved in? Yes. What's this? Good night, Axiom. Sweetest of dreams to you. Catch you later. You have face tracking. Yes. 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 Sorry, I saw somebody with a pink name and my my mind just went to a certain character. Can I guess your country? Go ahead. Yeah, but I'm gonna I'm just being a friendly neighbor. Hi, Delta Wolf. Hmm. I get to be with my granny today and she's making the food I like. That is probably the most wholesome message I've read in 3 months. Imagine just happily saying in chat, I'm gonna be with my granny today. And granny is strong enough, still has the mental acumen to make like the food that you like. Nothing is a more wholesome picture than that. Imagine she's just coming out with her oven mitts, like shuffling about the cookies or your lasagna. Honey, come eat. I miss my granny. So be with your grannies if they're still there, Chan. I'm sure they'd appreciate your company. So much more so than you know. I mean, I'm not working under axioms this Vesper. Ah, I'm Delta Diver on TikTok. I love your company. Great. Now I want to cry a little bit. I didn't mean to go enjoy your time with Granny. Give her a nice tight hug. Not enough to trigger like bone problems that she may have, but give her a nice hug, a kiss on the cheek, look into her eyes, and tell her you love her, okay? I swear it's gonna make her day like 1 million% better. Just do it. Go talk to your granny. Tell them, grandma, a strange looking black and blue cat looking person on the internet told me to remind you that I love you very much. And then if you have a grandpa, walk up to him and say, You still got it, grandpa, you're still handsome. And if he replies with, I know, it means he still got it, truly. I still remember when my grandma called a cappuccino flavored Pocky. I had giant cigarette sticks. It does look like it, does it not? Stretch. All right, fine. I'm gonna stretch for you. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Wow, Loki said something. Did I miss your message? Waiting for those bounties. The Khajiit told me. Oh, yeah. As much as I want to talk about the issue, I won't. that outside my scope. Vesper says, that's a big reason I opted for summer classes. I get to spend time more with grandpa, hanging out, helping with chores, fishing with him, etc. Like spend time with you. Have more free time. Yeah. Hi there, Eidolon. It's been a while, hasn't it? Really quite a while. Hi there, Nikor. Nikorik. Do you ever hang out in Publix? Once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon. Like, before I used to be an avid mirror dweller. I think a lot of us started out that way. And then, well, uh, I just found a group of friends I wanted to stick around with more. And yeah, I never really found a reason to hang out in public worlds anymore. I think what turned me off the most in public worlds is when I went to the furry hideout before, there was like a person who constantly plays their music on their microphone. And I remember blocking them, like or muting them. And then one of the other people, I think two of them, approached me and said, "Hey, why did you mute or block this and that? My friend wants to talk to you." I'm like, I don't know this person. So yeah, I'm like, pass. I prefer my peace, Chan. The trolls are, yeah. Well, Jackie Painter says, I wish I could do that with my grandparents. I don't have any. They're gone when I was a little boy. Hug your grandparents. That's true. I too don't have my grandparents, so if you have your favorite grandparent, grandma, grandpa, do what I just. Hmm. Are you a wolf or a fox? I am neither. I'm Geb. That's what. Chat is so curious as to what I am. I got like hands like a human being does. I got beans, nice sharp claws, and there's these things. My tail somewhere in the back. Uh, twist. Come on. Oh, it came out of the chair. Promise. So yeah, what am I? Good question. Excellent question. I remember you saying Vulper. Technically, I am. I am part Vulper and part Hyanid. The clear answer to what Gebo says is cute.
The clear answer to what Gebus is cute.
There you have it, Chan. Is that a PC? I should check your search history. That, unfortunately, is a work PC, so you're not gonna find any suspicious stuff in it. Nah. Either Cinder Collie. Would you look at that? The emote you're using has the same colored beans as I do. What? What is your favorite flower? A random question from Mystic. Probably jasmine. They just smell so good. And they make for great tea. Mm. How are the fishes doing? They are doing absolutely great. I'm still waiting for the replacement air pump from my online shopping thing. Remember last stream I said, oh my, the air pump like died midway. So yeah, right now they're sort of my backup air pump. It's not the best, but it works. But I still want to replace it with the quiet version that I just ordered. What would you do if I gifted you 10k bits? I would thank you from the bottom of my heart. No, I would tell you to type exclamation point tip instead. So, a certain entity doesn't take half of what you're giving before it reaches my pockets. There. Trust me, it's so you don't pay double and I receive half. I can't say the specifics because they're monitoring each and every single word I say. I'm watching my viewer count, like shadow ban. Eidolon goes, what species are you, Geb? Geb. What's your sexuality? Gebus. What's your favorite kind of wombat, Geb? Wombat? Why a wombat? Also, hands, come on. Open. These Quest Pro controllers. There we go. Hi there, Danny. I have no idea what that means, Angel, so you're gonna have to translate that to English first. Loki says Gebus is controlled by the Shadow Lords. Me being a pawn of the Shadow Lords. Please. You're gonna make my eyes water. Now I can't blink. Oh, I blink. That's it. I'm dead. No, I'm gonna do this. Now, now I can blink. You can't see it. He's far from a pawn, says Vesper. Yes. Driver says, last stream you also said that you were waiting for something that could make the tracking better. Care to explain what that is? That is a surprise, chat. I don't want to spoil anybody without actually testing it out first. Excuse me. Are you using a Quest Pro headset? That is correct, Mr. Kyler. Thanks, kids. Yeah, how quickly would you see the gift? Just like with philanthropist, pretty much instantly, I believe. Make sure you type a message. I'm a memo. Don't let me drag your butt into VC one day. Now he's a king. I am king of nothing, chat. I sit in a table that is round. Right. Well, not this table. It's rectangular. I mean, you 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 know what I mean. But I don't have VC. All right. You know, a headset is like $2. What's this? Eidolon says, for one bitty, I have a single molecular shiny thing that Twitch loves to tax. Don't spend it all now. I will make sure that the point 0.5 bitties I get will last me the whole week. Like I can probably buy one candy and then like get a heated knife and part it into like 7 small pieces. You have the cleanest VR stream setup I've ever seen. I cleanest? I You mean bland? But thank you. Either Badaxi, Badaxi, Badaxi. Ration them out. I will 100% ration them out. If you're feeling thrifty, maybe you can buy one pocket of ketchup and then just squeeze every little bit on like a few grains of rice. Make it last 2 weeks. Very sound plan. Yeah, but how would you steal bananas from Don? Are you asking me how would I would procure a set of bananas owned by what I would be a silverback gorilla? One, I won't. But if my life depended on it, I still won't. 100 Gebs versus one gorilla. I don't think any amount of talking is gonna stop him from rampaging and splitting all of us into like little bits of blue and black pieces. I wanna keep my limbs where they are, chat. Hmm. Are you using a Quest Pro? Again, yes. Gab, you say you're no king, but you're the king of me. Any subjects that I may have, remember, you are the ones who brought yourself to that position, not me. I would never dictate somebody to follow me. That's you can never really call them followers in the first place. It's you earn your allies by them coming to you. Oh, I need to rephrase that. You earn your allies by them approaching you. There. Oh, I'm fumbling really bad with the English. Coming to you. Ugh. Anyway, what? How many Gibbs do you need? Oh, I don't know, Memo. What headset are you using? Says Eidolon. The Geb set. Either Vixen Licious. Whoa. What a sultry name. Have you met my friend Vixen? Vixen who? Vic's delicious. Man, let's clean together. Are you doing chores at this time of day? It's like 4:06 a.m. How many gibs do you need to clean the room? Three. One is the vacuum gib, two is the dishwashing gib, three is the bathroom cleaning gib. I don't want to be the bathroom gib. So what brand is all your security? I don't have that. Mystic says, what kind of ability would Kirby gain if he copied you? He would be able to self-resurrect there. It's my encoder. It's murdering me really. My encoder only overloads when I have TikTok Studio open. I've tried it. Like no OBS. Only TikTok Studio. That's when I get the hiccups. I wish I could like just use OBS directly, but no. TikTok says use a proprietary software which needs to update every few days, 500 MB worth. Come on, TikTok. I'm giving you money, you're taking half of my coins. Are you in the Ender Dragon really? No, I don't live in the end. This guy's like Dervish, but I'm not gonna read that. Did you know Dervish was actually here earlier on stream? I he yeah, he was. he was here. I was surprised too. He said he was setting up for stream. He hanged around for a good bit, like I don't know, 30 minutes. Like for somebody who seemingly is the embodiment of ADHD in Nova Beast form, that is a lot of time allotted. Mm. No, Barrel, no. I can't say that. You're nice to watch while I draw and cuddle my cat. If I rephrase that, you're very good to view while I draw and whenever. Mm-mm. I'm from the Netherlands, says Cat. I see. Oli is from Spain. Ivan's from Croatia. If you install Node.js latest, it'll run a lot smoother. Really, Vixen? Can you can you do me a favor and DM me the details about this? Because I have been for the longest time looking for a way to lessen the hiccups I have when it comes to TikTok Studio. All right, I'm gonna tell you part of my system specs. I have a 9950 X3D, and yeah, and that is not being utilized really well. I have processed lasso. I have done all the the manual affinity assignment and priority this and that. What do you recommend to improve focus on a task? Ask Vinvin. Close my stream. Close TikTok. That model looks like 5 times PS5. Is it because I have the colors, the black and blue? Ah. Style says Geb's mind is going to special places today, isn't it? That's true. Geb seems unusually chipper today. Well, the philanthropist passed by and he just quite literally put money in my he put a smile on my face. That's what happened. Loki's asking, Keb, any tips on how to improve my stealth? It's simple. You gotta wear black underwear. Have you ever wondered why Batman wears black underwear in one of his costumes? It gives him like double the stealth scores. That's the secret. It keeps things from like whenever certain things rub together, they make weird sounds. It keeps it in place so there's no sound at all. Yeah, any tips on how to metaphorically break into your mansion? One, I don't have a mansion. I'm too poor to afford one, let alone a proper house. I two, if you come bringing food, you will probably be able to convince me to let you through my front door, especially if it's lasagna. But you can afford the Quest Pro. I saved up for years for it. Like, you know when you just generally save up and just don't want to spend it on anything big. And then I just saw the Quest Pro and said, you know what? If I buy this is going to motivate me to learn how to make VR chat avatars. I actually started this everything VR by making my own Avi. So I bought the headset, so I have no excuse not to. I put myself through a crash course of learning how to like model from a cube, rig it, put face tracking on it, and I actually managed to finish. And then the Nova Beast came out, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna buy that. I'm just gonna buy that. This is so cute. And then I turned into a Nova. Fast forward another year, here we are with I know a little bit more with Unity Blender and Substance Painter, and this kit bash of mine came into fruition. How to break into Geb's mansion. Step one, buy Geb a Yes. Yes, if I could pin that as an answer, I would. I'm new to your stream, says Nom. And I'm wondering, when and what time do you stream? Oh no. On Mondays, I normally stream 2:30 a.m. at plus 8 GMT. Wednesdays and Fridays, I that would be like 10:30 a.m. plus 8 GMT. To keep it simple, if you're from the States, I stream a little past lunch. Either that or close to midnight. What what do you advise for short attention spans? Ooh. Stay away from digital devices if and when you want to focus on a task. Trust me, I know the temptation. It's like when I'm working on a model, I'm like, okay, how do I do this? I will like feel obligated, like I obligate myself, like I deserve a break. And I will go scroll Instagram. I don't notice it's 15 minutes passing, and then, oh shoot, let's get back on task. AKA, you just remove things that distract you. That's not easy, really. Yael says, well, my cat informed me it's bedtime. So that's it for me. Have a good rest of the stream, all of you. Bye, Fiel. Thank you for tuning in. Really? Is it your birthday today, Eidolon? Happy birthday. Speaking of Discord, let me take a peek real quick. I'm sure you don't mind excusing me for a minute. Oh my god, memo, of course, clipped the out of context thing. Mm-mm. All right. Quotes. Gib playing the trombone. All right, we're banning memo. Yeah. Goodness. Wha- okay. Now, where were we? Just by looking at my Gib, I belong to Loki. I didn't know that. What powers do you think I possess? Do you mean me? I think, based on your avatar, Loki, you would have like a diamond tipped lip. You would easily chew through like rocks, hard minerals, and dare I say, even like metals itself. You know how chicks they have like this pointy thing and like that droops in their like beak, and they needed to like break out from like eggs. That's what you have, but it's diamond. If I brought lasagna, could I perchance get a hug? There are several requirements before you get a hug. Two, we have to be friends. One, you have to have good hygiene. I think that's it. Fiber says, Geb, what about the portable power station in your throne? You never mentioned that. I need to remove that. I already like a friend actually gifted me one. Thanks for reminding me. I never really I need to look at my throne. I assume nobody's buying me stuff there anyway. So yeah, I will, darling. I'm gonna update my throne. I will. Promise. I'm gonna laze and just like sit down here. I'm like, mhm. Hmm. Now I look like a little kid because I'm like so so low into the table. Style says I need to look up what a Nova Beast is because they look cute and I kind of want to make my persona that. Welcome to the 1 in 1 million Nova Beasts roaming around the chat. They are cute though. Oh, Nova Beast leggies are just prime delight. If in extent Luna Beasts are better though. Did you know that you can buy food for Yami via his throne? Loki says, so I'm a snapping turtle cramped up by 100%, yes. What type of work are you doing at that big desk? Well, aside from discussions and meeting with one, whoever, oh wow, I'm like into the chair. I was actually recording stuff. So yeah. Oh, let me. Blobby the Fox, being their first time chatting, is asking something technical. Hi, Geb. I have a little question. What shaders are you using for your model? I am using the Kentucky Fried Chicken original recipe. That's what it is. Also known as Poyomi shaders. Realistic. Delicious, right? See, when I say the KFC shaders, look at my left. The left has like my wonderful golden crispylicious, like perfectly fried skin. And then we have like the yes. KFC shaders, chat. It's made by some guy on GitHub named Colonel Sanders. Hi, Gebus, how are you? I'm okay. Gwen China. Mystic, you should have banned him, not muted. Stas's VR seems so fun, but also so confusing. I'm not super technical. I think that's why I enjoy VR chat. Be- because just like my passion for motorcycles, I used to own a garage where I build motorcycles. Um, more than half of the fun for me is being able to modify the avatar on a whim with Blender, retexture it in Substance Painter, and put all sorts of little knickknacks in Unity, and be able to like show people. So to me, VR chat is not only a social platform; it's actually a wonderful place for show and tell. I remember me and Action would always have fun. Log into VR chat and then like Geb, check this out. And then the next time I hop in, like Action, check this out. Like we always like flaunt whatever new discovery or little trick and do that we have in our Avies. What's this? Delta Wolf is asking, bad life advice. Do I get my parents to leave me? Up? Are you asking how to leave you alone? It's simple. Oh my goodness. You constantly remind them, especially your dad, that you used to be a tadpole swimming within his water containers, his pond. Yeah. And then you tell your mom, Mom, I'm so thankful you didn't drink that glass of milk, and here I am. Is she talking to TikTok stream? No, it's the shh. It's the other screen. Bad life advice, chat. Wow, really? That looks amazing. Yeah, Poyomi realistic shaders. Actually, this is was it multi-layered matte? It was something else. I had to fiddle around. But summary is the shaders I'm using, it's publicly available. That's free. Mystic, I tried my best to word it in a way that would not get me bonked by the streaming platform of choice I have right now. Mm-mm. That was kind of extreme. Which one? Lyle says, I'd probably end up paying someone to do the technical stuff for me. I love to design characters, but I'm not good enough to make it myself. That used to be me too, until I decided to, you know what? I'm poor. I need to learn how to do this myself. I may not do a great job at it, but at least I know how it's done. Vesper says, Gab has a lot of fun playing take apart and put back together. Ever since I was a child, chat, my mom bought me this new train set, like choo choo, and then it had this funny little thing where you could put like drops of something, and then it would like emit smoke. So of course that was disassembled the darn thing, so I knew how it worked. And my mom like said, "I'm never buying you toys again." Like, but how will I know how it works? I still broke every toy she bought me. Why did I? Thank you for the subscription. Appreciate it. Did you put it back together? Not only did I put it back together, I upgraded the 3 point something volts that it used, like the AA batteries, into a 9-volt battery. Hey, for a kid that's like single digit in age, that's impressive. Man, that train ran really fast and it burned out and broke too. So yeah. Yeb, can I commission you to make my Dutch Angel Dragon statue? I will have to politely pass. Not only is my hands full with all the projects I'm working, I am not quite up to the level of confidence yet to work on other people's abbeys that aren't my friends. Yeah, I've helped Mystic before. I still need to help her with the broken patterns on her arms. And I handle Vespers too. She should have put you in the engineering school. Right? Darn it, Mom. Why'd you make me an art student instead? Fast forward like 20 years. From like overvolting electric trains, I started building electric motorcycles. I found my own garage. I would have clients walk in with their old vintage bikes. I would take apart throw away the old gas engine, retrofit it with like high powered electric motors. Like we're looking at like 30 to 50 kilowatt range, 50,000 watts, chat. And then would rebuild it. So vintage electric motorcycles from old gas bikes. It was such a nice thing to do. But yeah, that business kind of sank after I got stabbed in the back by my other partners. And consequently, I ended up homeless. That's all my assets were seized. Good night, Spanish person. See you around, Oni. How long did it take you to learn to make an Avi? 1 month, with lots of sleepless nights. Yukili, thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. Luna says, hello. I just found your Instagram and just fell in love with how you tell stories with your voice. Why, thank you. Once upon a time, there was this fantastic person named Luna. Wandering through the roads of the internet, she stumbles upon a black and blue individual in this place called Instagram. She perused through the videos of this content creator and somehow got charmed by the content. And lo and behold, fast forward to the present, here she is now. They. I messed that up. But yes, welcome to stream. For the rise of electric vehicles, says Cinder, you were ahead of the curve. I was too early, chat. I started a business in which nobody wanted to adopt, even the government. We didn't have the infrastructure for it first. We didn't have charging stations yet. Lithium batteries were prohibitively expensive. They didn't even have a proper way to register most of what I was building. They didn't understand. Like how? Like, hey, I just need you to change the engine type written on the documents from petrol to electric. We don't know how to do that, sir. Like, just, you know. So yeah. Yes. The good old days. Mystic says, Gabo is like a parent when it comes to appearance as far as friends go. You ain't going out here looking like that. Yep. Yes. Actually. How to stream well, asked Luna. Bad Life Advice Edition. I'm probably gonna be stepping on other streamers' toes if I make a joke, so I'm not gonna say anything. How to stream well. Oh my goodness, I don't have any bad life advice for it. Make sure you use a crappy computer. There we go. That's the weakest yet. Leaf Deer says, Hi Gebus, I saw you tell a story on Instagram how you were homeless at one point. If you don't mind sharing, how did you bounce back? A little into my homeless story. here's the thing, chat. When I was homeless, you may be wondering where was my family and my other people, my friends. I'm an exile from my family. Like like you're dead to me, son, sort of exile. As for my friends, call me stubborn. I just I just didn't tell anybody. I still pretended I was okay. I still had my cracked little old Chinese phone which I could update Facebook with every now and then when I get like Wi-Fi from like another guy with the phone that I tether to. And yeah, I just didn't let them know, but eventually one of my close friends, she's like a sister to me, found out. And you know what? She was mad, obviously, that I was in such a state, and she helped me out. Helped me out by, well, she gave me a place to stay. Not her place, but it it enough to afford the security deposit on an apartment. And then from there, I did a bunch of odd jobs to get money again. And well, lucky enough, circumstances dictated I was able to get enough where I wasn't in the red every month. And I saved up a bit. I managed to buy the Quest Pro, as I mentioned earlier, and I started streaming. And here we are. Before I got homeless, I started the business, the electric motorcycle thing. Before that business, I was an employee in an advertising agency. For a couple of years, I used my savings to start said business, which sank. So yeah, 2 hour mark, says Mystic. Thanks for the reminder. Vesper says, exactly. I went from a Chihuahua-eyed default Nova Beast wearing a crappy desert robe and torn underclothes to the absolutely beautiful Luna Beast with proper attire. Vesper is so attractive looking in her outfit. She's both handsome and beautiful at the same time. Mr. Vance, hi. What happened to your parents and ended up in that state? Oh, you mean when was homeless? As I've said, I'm an exile. Well, my mom was still living in her house. My brothers didn't know about my situation, as I've said. And yeah, I wish I could expound more, but I had barely any access to internet back then. So, and besides, I'm not friends with them in any social media. So, my information on my family was scarce back then. I hope that satisfies your question. Kyle says, I'm gonna dip. I have a few things to do. Stream has been super fun and have a good day and night. Thank you. I'll see you around. You're a type of a fox creature, right? Yes, with a bit of like dragon mixed in. A dragon fox thingy. A gibbous, that's what. You have a very charming stream. Ah, thank you. You know when I read your name, Cinder Collie, it reminds me of this show before. It was a dog. It was a collie. I forgot what the name was. It would be a collie who would always like do heroic acts. It's an old show. Oh, maybe Mystic knows the title. I'm also a dragon fox thing, is just Loki. Let's be dragon fox pals. Aren't we already, Loki? I just haven't been able to attend soaring fitness again because of, well, schedule change and being busy and lots of other things. Lassie, Lassie, there we go. Yeah, Evocator says, as a fellow former art student, now art teacher at the school, how was your student life? Did you finish university? Here's the funny thing, Chan. I finished all my subjects up until the graduation march, which I didn't do. Circumstances dictated that I focus on getting money instead. So close to the finish line, right? But I absolutely love my school days. I was in an art school, so well, my first year, my first semester, and no, first few semesters, like one and two, it was still the general education subject, so we were placed in the main building along with all the other courses. During the second year and onwards, that's when we were transferred completely to the School of Digital Arts department. And being able to be in a crowd that is like minded to your interests and pursuits is just so nice. You actually look forward to going there. You see all the colorful queer people in the fashion department, all they're what's the proper? They're eccentrically majestic. And then you see all of the photographers and hanging their photos and having little competitions in the photography department. You have the animators, the animation students. That's me, who, well, were slaves behind the pencil or the Wacom tablets. Yeah, we. I was still working with frame by frame animation back then. I know there is tweening, yes, but I wasn't so good at it. My thesis was a 1 minute and a half animation with somebody else. Two of us. The good old Wacom. Yup. Big old 20 something inch. It's so scratched. Oh, that not so nice matte screen. Luna says, I don't know how this is very rare for me, but you seem to be calming, which is a great benefit as I suffer from severe anxiety. Well, Luna, that's glad to hear. I have met people who, well, are suffering through the same thing. And oh, it always moves my heart whenever they send me messages like after stream saying, Geb, you know, normally I can't sleep at night, and your calming voice was actually able to lull me to sleep. And I'm like, oh wow, I'm helping people. I'm glad. So yeah. Vesper says, I may be a lady, but I do adore leaning more androgynous with my outfit choices, which is perfectly cool. I myself, I'm a ladies man. I mean, I like ladies. I'm a man, but I am actually not a big fan of the very girly girl aesthetic. I'm not saying it's bad or wrong or you should stop using it. It's just a matter of personal taste. When they're so girly to the point that they are incapable of doing menial tasks and labors. That sort of persona. I like it when you're headstrong, like a tomboy. You're able to like grab the wrench from my hand and take over and like fix the vehicle I'm fixing when I'm injured and whatnot. You know, like we're on par, we're on equal footing. As for style, well, I don't know. I'm leaning towards the cool looking ladies more than like the princessy types. You know what I mean? Like flowy dresses and everything. I'm a thigh highs kind of man. Can never go wrong with nice old black, thick, opaque thigh highs. Accentuating. Anywho, where were we? We started drifting off. Evocator subscribe with Prime. Thank you so much. Yeah, we were going off tangent, weren't we? What did you say? I'm back. I said, Luna, I'm glad I can help. And like many people who suffer the same thing. I'm glad that I'm able to somehow give them comfort. Some are unable to sleep properly, some suffer through anxiety just like you, or some just had a really bad day and somehow I was able to uplift them with the stream I did. And that frankly moves my heart. It really does. Keeps me going, chat. Mystic says, and Princesita, how? I well, you're you're first of all, Mystic is like Mystic sized. So this is the floor. This is Mystic's height, and this is me. So Princesita is like compressed cuteness and sexiness in one. Yes. Your stream is calming, says Binbin. I hope you can do this often. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, chat. 3 times a week. That's when I go live. Congrats, Vance. Memo says, yeah, you have pretty chill vibes. Thanks. Gary's mod. Gary's mod? No. Uchas Zuski. Zuski. Hi. Bit hard to pronounce the name, but yes. Wait, it is Sunday here. Do you already have Monday? The time is 4:43 a.m. May 5th, Monday. It's chat. The ever heard of time zones? I'm not from the States. I'm not from Europe. I'm from Asia, Southeast Asia. Here in Southeast Asia, it's already morning. The sun is gonna be rising soon. The Monday sun. Time zones are weird, I know. Well, such is the consequence of having a spherical planet, chat. I always knew, says Memo. Geb recorded from Gary's mod. Oh dear. Whatever shall we do? Memo knows my secret now. That's bad. Do we put Memo in the no-no list in my computer? It's okay. What's this? These pesky time zones. Right. That's a lot of frames skipped. No, I'm not, son. Do you see a nice big old beard and a holy crap big belly? No, Santa Claus. I could have sworn your accent is European. Oh, wow. I almost read that word. European. Do you have a naughty list? Yes. Not the no list. Cinder's asking, what's your favorite traditional Filipino dish and why? You know, have you ever heard of the sizzling concoction called sisig? So it's like diced up pork, right? And like little bitties. You put green chili in it. You put onions. You put some pepper and strangely enough some mayonnaise on it. And it's served like sizzle it in a hot iron plate. Put the raw egg on top until it gets cooked. Serve it with rice. Absolute heart stopper, quite literally. It's so delicious. Sisig. Sisig. Google it. You see what I mean. Oh, hold on. Mhm. Ah, okay. I see. Random response. Good to know. There we go. I was just saying random crap while I was looking at the viewer list. Why so many people? Hi. This looks fantastic. Right? It's so good. Sisig is so good. I love sisig. Now I'm hungry. This is nom. Oh, oh. What I would give for some right now. Sisig looks good. I never had it. Well, if and when we get a chance, no matter how microscopic the odds may be, I'm gonna treat you guys to sisig. You need to try it at least once in your life. That triggered like my hunger. Sisig, Reed, you need to check Google. I think it's best that you see how it looks like. It's a pork dish. Why not random? Random is funny. Oh, that's delicious. Yeah. It looks absolutely right? It's so I cannot commend it enough. It's so good that I'm lucky I have a place that sells it. It's like a 2-minute walk from my apartment. So I I remember buying so much sisig. I ate it every day for like 2 weeks. My blood pressure spiked, and yeah, now I eat it in moderation. Well, it's so good. Can you imagine? It's gonna be served to you in a hot plate. Like you can hear it, and then oh man, you can smell like the sweetness, the savoriness of it. It also has like a bit of soy sauce in it, which makes it really great. So if you know how the umami of meat with soy sauce smells, oh, Mystic, you need to try it. I'm sure there's a Filipino restaurant there, and which will probably be selling sisig, soy sauce. Just memo. What about traditional Filipino desserts? Okay. Normally, one would answer halo halo, but you need to look at this thing called chocolate. Chocolate is essentially raw cocoa bean. No, it's the cocoa beans. It's dark chocolate, really dark chocolate, super concentrated dark chocolate that you melt in a pot until it turns into a very thick drink. And then you like dip bread in it. Oh my goodness, that's good. If there's a meat alternative, are you allergic to pork, Mystic? There is chicken sisig. There is two. It's just as good. So you have choices, Mystic. Not like 100% dark memo. Oh, but yeah, sisig. So, oh, man, sisig, thai highs, these delicious things in the world. Lasagna, chocolate milk, ice cream, all these beautiful things. Hmm. Makes you glad you're alive. Lasagna. Yes, Reed, I am an absolute enjoyer of lasagna. Oh my goodness. Before, do you see this thing above? It says extended stream. Last year, that thing, it actually says lasagna funds. Had lasagna today, says Vix. Absolute lover of the dish. Oh, so good. Hi, Gebo, says Lats. Oh my goodness, how do I read your name? Have a nice stream. Iat Sting. I call you AT. There we go. Barry says, I miss so much. I really might have to watch it all over again once I'm done. Chat, did you know I actually put recordings of my entire stream up in a certain site, which make it sound like I'm addressing you and like a particular cylindrical object we often call a tube? Yes. Where's the chocolate dessert? What? I 7-Eleven sells good ice cream. Reed says, my friend doesn't like meatloaf because of a texture thing. Doesn't. But it's one of my favorites. I think you're pertaining to the weird meatloaf with like whole green peas and raisins in it. That's yeah. What is Yami's favorite meal? Tuna. Yes, he strangely doesn't like salmon. He loves tuna and especially loves shrimp. Yami is my cat. It's thick hot chocolate. Yes, Cinder. That's essentially what it is. Hi there, Sticks. The pure dark chocolate. Tsokolate. So like choco latte. That's what you need to search. Oh. Vic says it's funny to live in Europe. Chetcha specifically. We have absolutely none of the stores like 7-Eleven. Don't you have like what was that thing in Pityoriska? I can't remember. It's like red, like color red, the store. I don't remember. Wish it, man. Dairy delivery force with the glass of. You know what? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. I read the caption as deactivate. Okay. Gotta go, says Memo. So sad I can't stay in this 3 hour stream. Who said it's 3 hours? See you guys. Have a great week. Bye, Memo. Guess you're gonna miss the special outfit reveal later. See ya. In Croatia, we call it NTL. NTL. Mm. Ciao. Will you look at the time, chat? 2 hours and 22 minutes. That is usually when I start preparing for me to go because I stream an average of 2 hours and a half. Then my throat's a little tired from from recording. Oh, wow, how long have I been in VR chat? 7 hours and 42 minutes today. Straight. I need to hop off soon. Lol. Pityoriska is actually Russian. Its logo is the red 5. Yeah. But it's not present in European countries as far as I know. I see. All right. Oh, thanks, Reed. Reed Royer is going to FWA. FWA is a thing that's happening soon, right? I furry convention. I assume. I'm sorry. I've never been to a furry convention. I've heard how it is, but I haven't been to one myself. The 8th. Ah, I see. What I've been reading on Twitter about furry conventions is or was it on TikTok? I remember seeing a TikTok saying, "What are the things that happens in furry conventions that the general public doesn't know. And I saw like the pizza incident or something like that, and the pizza party, whatever. I don't, I don't know. And then I read into it more, and then I realized what it was. I don't want to go to furry conventions anymore. No, mm-mm. No. What happens behind closed doors? No, siree. Big ol' X. Just VR chat for me. Yuck. What did you do 7 hours in VR chat? The first few hours I was setting up the resources I need in order to record the novels I was reading. Because I'm launching a it's a subscription thing, and think of it as like a patron only thing in which you get to listen to recordings of me reading books and novels, poems, and short stories, and you just toss a little coin my way per month, and you get said content. If you subscribe to the higher tiers, you get to pick what I read. At least you're part of the people that get to vote for it. And in the highest tier, more like a joke tier, I actually have it as you can rent me per hour. Yeah, per hour. And I will read you whatever you want while you were in VR chat. So, oops. So you can just like lie down, right? And I'm here next to you, like in a chair or whatever you prefer. And then I'm just gonna read you a bedtime story. It sounds silly, I know, but I know some people like look for stuff like this. Toss a coin to your gib. Oh man, don't remind me of that song from Jaskier. And just like that, my lunch is gone. Well, gone in the sense that you ate it all, or gone that you burned all the calories, mister? Tinder says, furry cons are great if you have a close group of friends to hang out with. I don't have that. You learn all the drama from Twitter. Oh, chat of plenty. Oh, God. Good night, Vix. That's why I stay at Airbnb. Given the weather in my country, I don't think I'll be attending any furry conventions anytime soon. Okay, Mystic. Gotcha. Ooh, okay, all right. I see, Cinder. Miku, go to bed. Close my stream, close TikTok. Go to bed. I'll be going to go a convention with Ninja here in a couple of days. Good luck, and I hope you two enjoy. Loki. My legs. Yeah. Oh, that's bad manners. There we go. That's super bad manners when it's hidden. Oh boy. Is that the bang of sleepiness starting to hit me? Hmm. I go to bed. Glad I caught your stream, says Reed. I usually catch him at 11 p.m. for me. It's 2 p.m. right now. That is the time I'm gonna be streaming. Wow, lag. Wait, I got a DM. JS Node something to reduce the lag. I need to Google that. I need to Google that before I forget. JS Node. What is that? TikTok Studio. JS Node encoder lag. What is that? What was that guy talking about? Yeah, you're getting I know because I'm streaming to you guys. All right, TikTok, it's been great. Bye. Let's see if that solves my encoder problems. I'll catch you during the next stream. Mm. So yeah, bye TikTok. Okay. Now we're gonna close this super resource intensive TikTok studio and see if I should get funny encoding lag. Okay. How many new people joining the Discord? Hmm. Well, what do you know? It seems things have like smoothened out. That's great. Oh, eye fatigue started to set in though. Okay, so where were we? It is currently 2 hours and 30 minutes. Oh my. Does it mean the stream is ending already? Hmm. Pasta shapes. The one is fettuccine, the other is like what's it? What's the spiral noodle thingy? Okay, hold on. Oh no, that's not Twitch. Let's go to Twitch. Who is streaming? Ritual Neo, Sammy Q. Hmm. Chat, do you want me to extend the stream or not? Like by 10 minutes maybe? Hmm. Yours is Ivan. Of course. Go get yourself some sisig. I wish I could at 5:03 a.m. But yeah. Oh hi Miku. Go to bed. Mm. You, both eyes, close, sleep. Why did my viewer count increase? Are you, are you are you from that other side, the other platform? God. All right. Hold on. It has to be this POV. Okay. Okay, next. Back. The other platform, it starts with the letter T I K T O K. Mm, yes. No. Yes. Yes, love mouses, wing demon. I see. Okay. Gotcha. So be it. Advanced RGB says, well, from this side of the world, it's a Sunday this afternoon. I see. Uh, you go to bed. You know what? In 10 minutes, I'm going to go to bed. Pico. I said T, not P, RGB. I'm the slow one. Vesper says, finally on break number 2, my shift is going to fly by past this point. Fantastic, because I'm going to fly towards my bed and take a nap right after stream. Yep. Or the big sleep, probably. I'm not sure. We'll see. Anyway. Let the man's voice rest. He has bedtime stories to read. You know what? You're right. actually do have to record some more. It's let me get like 12 stories out there at least. I'm gonna visit Chef, says Mystic. I see. Good luck. Send my regards to him. Stop you. I'm stopping the yawn. Oh, I won. Evo Cater says, I finally did grade all my kids' art projects. I earned me a long rest. Yes, you did, good sir. Ebo bedtime. No, I didn't yawn. Mm-mm. No, I'm not watering in the eyes. Ah, yeah, flash. Rasper says, oh, oh. Definitely got some good sleep at last night though. Went to bed very early. Yes, I figured you needed it, love. And I'm Tinkerbell. Take your yawning tail. Yes. So, oh my God, my eyes. Ah. Woo. Why are they stinging? Oh wow. You know, you know how sometimes when you yawn and like tears come out and oh, maybe my eyes were super dry. Oh my goodness, they hurt so much. I'm gonna zoom out so it doesn't look funny. Ugh. Okay, eye rub. Probably because they're red and watering from lack of sleep. Most probably so, yeah. Gab needs I have eye drops. Right after stream, I'm gonna shakily put them on my eyeballs. I'll be off, says my sister screaming excitedly at me about pasta and pepper tattoo. Should it be like salted pepper? But I love watching your stream. I'll definitely be back more often. Thank you for being so lovely. Thank you, Kat. You know what? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take this as my cue to, you know, skedaddle. And yep, that probably yes. But wait, let's see the VI chat category. I'm curious, who's streaming?
We need a bigger game, guys. Oh.
Oh my goodness, there's barely anything on, e-girls. There's a sleeping red Rexonium. There's Zaldar. Oh, Zaldar. Zaldar has like nice background too. And then there's Ka Kasimin. Oh, hey, that's me. Hey, what do you know? Wow. Look at all these content creators. It's so cool. The sad thing is I'm not friends with any of them. I'm like hesitant to raid any of one. Like I always think of raids as like suddenly barging in somebody's door with so many people in tow. Maybe because I'm Asian, I see that like as rude. But people have been encouraging me to do so though. But none of these people are my friends. I don't know any of these. Mystic says you stay getting hit with e-girls on the front page. Oh, I cannot. The top e-girl is like 530 something viewers. No fighting that. Yep, you need to stay awake to help stream and solve this 2 week long case I'm working on. No, the pay is garbage. No. Okay. You go sleep, you sleep deprived per massively wrecked sleep schedule. I will. I will. There's nothing bad in raiding someone randomly unless you did. deliberately do not want to do so. Ah. For sure, it's seen as love and support. I get the impression your community is kind and caring, so they'll leave a good impression. Do I toss you to one of these like skimpy e-girl skimpy e-girl streamers? Oh my goodness, what is she wearing? No, no, I'm just joking, chat. Of course not. Let's refresh it. One more time. Ba-ba. Nope, it's still them. 971 viewers. Yep. May contain teams. Oh, 559 viewers. Mm-mm. I wonder if there's like an artist I know here. Hold on. It's like art. Let's go to the art channel. Art. Maybe somebody from Twitter is here. All right, let's see. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mermay. Is it Oh yeah, it's May. Okay. Wait, what are you guys saying? And I guess the Red Rex being Electro who's streaming like the last 15 minutes of their 20 yeah, Electro Wolf. Yes. Don't do that, so help me, Gabo. Yeah, I'll toss you into one of those like mute e-girl dancing streamers. Huh. Ooh. I the beach goblin. Cute. But wait, let's look at more. Oh, I feel so. I wish more of these like art streamers get more viewers because they're really talented, but I feel like they're massively underappreciated. Unfortunately, I don't know any of them. Oh no. Come on. Somebody be drawing a cute Batgirl. Come on, show me the money, the goods. No, painting something. No, that's just bikini and boobies. No, shoes. No, African vixen. No, he's drawing a dwarf. Dwarfs are cool, but no. Do you know rustled fluff? No. You keep on hearing you didn't miss anything, Triber. But I wow, I'm gonna fall. I was browsing through like the various channels that is on Twitch. And I'm seeing if I have any familiar names on there. I don't think that's the case. Let's see. I shall continue browsing. By the way, did you notice that there's way less hiccups now? Because I closed TikTok. You, my viewers on Twitch, you're the special ones. Like you're my favorite, like students, not the other one. Okay. Uh, oh, Corgi Cam. Corgi Cam's the person that got me into affiliate. But I don't think we really interact with each other. So Ritual Neo. I remember I used to watch their YouTube where they were showing like VR chat to their mom, and that's kind of cute. Okay, let's look at Zaldar. I'm curious. He has a good setup. Okay. Art select pause. Hmm. Okay. Trying to spread joy, happiness, and self care. Everyone is welcome. We're a community of people who like to live and let live. Okay. Boo, 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 boo. Oh my god. Ugh, my eyes are dying. Oh no, it's a bat. Oh, I finally found the bat, but no. Okay, ow, ow. Where was I? Wait, why are you all still here? The stream's over, Chad. There's nothing else to see here. I. What are you doing here? You, yes, you. Don't you have another streamer you want to watch? Aren't you supposed to buy some dinner in advance or something? Pick up that laundry. Pick up that laundry. Reply to that friend. Do it now. You're going to the gym. Don't skip it. Mm-mm. You're so out of shape. Or you're either that or really super awesome body, and you need to polish it more. Yeah, yeah. I see. Don't drop the snap. No, you're on a diet. Stop it. Stop it. Work out. You told yourself this. Work out. Put on your shoe. Get your water bottle. Go to the gym. Don't make me go there. And your laundry. Your your oh my god. Pick up your laundry. Your girl. You stop eating unhealthy food and go to the grocery and stock up on meat and veggies. See, look at my viewer count disappear. Over 15 people left. Oh my goodness, that's funny. It's 11 p.m. I don't care. Go to the gym. Vesper says, why do you need a bat when you have me? I'm still part bat. I think you're more dragon bat than anything right now, Ves. Your wings, your ears. Like if I'm like a dragon fox thing, or yeah, you're a dragon bat. Anywho, hold on, I'm reading. What out of shape? I'm drawing right now, says Mystic. Good. Can't tell me to work out when I'm on my feet over 8 hours a day. You're an exception. If we're going on about fitness, why ate your butt? Because I am a very busy individual. Oh, it's so much to do. It's so much to do. Yeah. Saving the world and many things. Yes. True, true, true. Ask Vesper about it. It's I've been busy with this charity World Saving Foundation. It's called EDF. Axiom and Vesper are involved members, and they sure know the importance of the movement. EDF, the Earth Defense Force, and how important the tasks are. Surely you'd understand. So yes, where were we? Why are you coming back, viewers? I was down to 68. Shoo! Yeah, I'm going to bed in 5 minutes away. Hold on. Mm-mm-mm. Oh my goodness. What's that? On You leave the stream. No, you leave the stream. I. Mm, mm. Yeah. What? You better be in your sneakers. You better be packing like your pre workout. Mm-hmm. For you to partner anyway. I have nowhere close. We want to know why? This is my second or third stream where I had more than 60 viewers. The week before this, my viewers was just 20 or 30. I don't know what happened. No, I know what happened. I posted the video explaining about my accent, and it seems many people liked it. And then now, much to my surprise, I've experimented with like two different times now and like 12 hours from now. And a lot of you are sticking around. I frankly am surprised. Delighted. What more can I say? I'd also thought you told more people you're into. No, I didn't. If you go to my social media, like my Instagram, my oh no, I started mentioning names to that, yeah, that and that other place that's been renamed. I actually don't mention when I'm live and whatnot. So, well, color me curious and surprised that there's so many. I mean, I'm glad. I, hmm. You, come, come here, closer. Let me just. What are you doing? Staring at a staring at this black and blue creature on the internet right now instead of doing something productive. Mm-mm. And Mr. Marbles is back. Hi, Marbles. Okay, we had me stalk you from Insta. Okay, Eva. The entire duration, says Mystic, you had more people on Twitch than. That's right. I. That's actually surprising. How do I handle that? Yes, it's going down again. Good. Get your butt off my stream. Close my tab. Close my tab. Do you have more important things to do than watch me? Come, come on. I bet you're hungry and you just don't know it. Like, trust me. Google sisig right now. SISIG. And trust me, you're gonna get hungry. 100%. Yes. Imagine hot steaming rice, some nice sisig, and it's all yours. That's all you need. And yes, I'm still on your street. You need to close my tab. Oh my goodness, how do you end up with 1,000 subs in one up? I was looking at another content creator. That's it. Kyber says, actually, no, I'd rather watch 10 hours of you than getting camped and tunneled and dead by date. You need to play those backlog of games you have on Steam. Look at your library. Are you not ashamed at your long list of games you never play? Ooh, I'm gonna buy these games when it's sale. Ooh, I'm just gonna install it and play it later. No, play them. Play it, update it, play them, finish it. Mm-mm. I'm at 3,000 plus games. Says, hey, I, I'm assuming you haven't finished 10% of those. Which stands my point. Play your games. Ebook says, you cannot tell us what to do. And joke's on you, I am watching you on my phone. I can even go to the gym. Go work that body of yours. You are clearly in need of gyminating. You're making your stream go up. Ha! Funny. I'm down to 66. No, I am playing while listening to you. I have almost 3,000 hours in daylight. Wow. Come on, come on. The moment it hits 60 viewers, I'm gonna skedaddle. Okay, deal. So I know you guys are procrastinating. You guys have things to do that you're clearly not doing. Come on, baby, 66. Well, we can't let it drop anymore, says Raz. So Geb has to keep streaming. No, I have such games and they will consume me whole for another 1,000 years. 24-hour stream? No. Oh my god. I can't do a 24-hour stream. And I don't even think I have the capacity or patience to do so. Ima- oh, what if I need to take a bath? I have always wondered about that. Like, what do I display on screen when I stream for that long? Hmm. What about the outfit you said to someone? You're hearing things, Ivan. Some people just sleep on stream. Isn't that a bannable offense? No, why did it go up by one? I'm going to start putting funny angles so you guys will like go, go, go. No, you're still here. Okay, okay, all right. If your chat is monitored, you can 100% sleep on your chat is monitored. So I need a moderator who is gonna like be there while so that's how it works. Emporio Ivankov says, hello, I did something yesterday, so today I have nothing to do. Sorry, not sorry. Stop right there, criminal scum. Nobody steals under my watch. Then pay with your blood. Yep, I oblivion. Ah, okay, let's maybe go soon, guys. He needs to go to. See, look, Ewok here being the nice teacher that he is. He manages kids, he grades them, he looks at their art and says, yes, it's beautiful. Like, yeah, 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 the very, very respectful person. Okay. The moment my viewer drops by one, I'm gonna go. We're at 67. I'm keeping my eye on that number, chat. Well, oh my god, more people are following. Thank you, people. Mystic says, sleep stream is oddly relaxing. I say oddly because I don't think folks would watch me and join me in sleeping. Mm. You have the superpower called narcolepsy, Mystic. Imagine being able to sleep on command. Yep, that's it. Alt F4. 67. Oh, the moment it hit 66, I swear. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Geb changing the rule. Up. Come on, baby. Come on. 66, let's go. It's not dropping. Oh my god, how did it go to 72? Hi, Chan. I'm Gab. I'm actively telling you to go continue about in your day or evening. Hmm. All right. If it goes below 72 by one, hi chat, go away. Hi chat, go away. Hey, look, it can't be helped. I just find relaxing words and it helps folks relax. I know you're like she hosts like VR sleepovers. That's kind of cute. It's it's so ironic. A year ago when I started streaming, like February or March, I had like two viewers for the first month or first few weeks. Oh my goodness. And one of those viewers were my friends. Wow. Still here, not leaving. Okay. Shh. Chatted my stream. Chat away from my stream. Loki knows. I'm still eyeing. It's a 72. I can feel it. I can feel it. It's about to go down. I can finally rest in peace. Ah, to lay my soft cheeks on my even softer pillow and greeting the embrace of sleep. Mm-mm. Not listening to the demands of your snooze alarm and sounds great. Bye, Gebos and Vesper. Yes, yes. If Ivan leaves, that's it. No, no, it's not. It's not up to. Mhm. I'm glad I can be one of the new viewers. Of course, thanks. Exponential growth. Yeah, sure. Hi there, Tyler. Oh no, there's somebody new. Tyler, hi. I bet you're a super cool person. And I have your I don't have Maybe you're not a super cool person. How to gain viewers. Step one. Tell them to go away. I just want to go to bed, chat. Yeah. Sleepy dude, and it's not going down. Gaming time over. Oh no. Hi, Matthew. I'm just waiting for people to leave. Shops closed, everybody. No. Yeah, but instead of making new rules of when you'll go, just get some rest. It's all good. You know what? What Ras said. I'm I'm yes. Oh my god, why am I in a blobfish? Yee. Furry girl dancing. 200, of course. Go, you dance well, lady. Ugh. Okay. Bum, bum. Kella's Corner. Is this a familiar name?
It's the charge you would get.
Oh my goodness. Nope. Wait, that's not the one I know. I bet they're awesome though. When I check OBS, I bet it's 60 something viewers in three, two, one. Oh shit, it's still the same. Hi, Shigeru Fox. Why still here? Shoo, the stream is over, chat. I'm gonna go sleep, Gab. You've done. Yes, I will. Maybe I should go sleep to go sleep, gal. Time for Gebus to sleep us. Gebus sleep us. No, it went up. It went up. All right. So, general rule for all of the newcomers here on stream. Whenever I go in stream, I usually wait for the viewership to go down. Like it's like closing shop and I see the customers like starting to stand up and like pack their things and they had a nice meal in my restaurant and they go about their day. Uh, But when I see okay, great. Thank goodness I hanged on. Hi,
No
Matt.
need words to support a friend.
Thank you, Matthew. Oh man. About 100 before he ends. I don't know. We are the annoying customers, says Evo. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm working overtime. That's what's happening. It was a 66. It went up to 72. Now it's at 74. $50 equals 50 more minutes. Oh, no. People don't usually hop out of Twitch stream unless there's some sort of. Is my ancient relic still here? No, that's the be right back. Nope, that's my. No, I don't have an end screen. I deleted it. Damn. Lucky. Lucky. I'd work for $1 a minute. Oh, okay. And the Russian bat marbles is sending more. 6 more minutes into the stream. There we go. Hi there, says Cyberpunk the Wolf. I'm a newcomer from Instagram. Hi there. Welcome to my stream. I've been actively trying to shoo my viewers for the past 20 minutes so I can get some sleep, but no. I'll just put my there. I'm gonna sleep. Nope, the viewers are still the same. Okay. We are stream chat. I end stream at 2 hours and 30. It's 3 hours and 7 minutes. There's no end stream. Yep. Ugh. I have hiccups. Oh no. Oh no, I have hiccups. That's bad. Hi there, puss. Are you Arlo Dinosaur? Oh. Well, that's it. I'm dead. 82. What are you talking? It's 74. Don't lie to me. 82 can't be. Draw an end stream. I'd like look of all things. I don't have the end. The wait, I'm adjusting my trackers. The end screen thing. I got my snuggly pajamas. Oh my god, it's 85. All right. Okay. Fine. 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 I'm gonna do the opposite. If it reaches 90, I'm gonna end my stream. There we go. Usually that's how it works. You jinx the number so it goes down. Mm-hmm. We need something to munch for the sleep, but I am not. You're just a great vibe to be around. You gotta say, says Shirokia. Shirokia. Okay. Yes, I'm flattered. It's morning. I haven't gotten much sleep, says Nom. So wait, if we tab out and then you'll stream for longer, 78 na. Is it going down? Am I free? Yes. Board games and movies. 79. I want to say something, but I can't. I can't. Board games, lots of movies, and pillow fights, says Matthew. And pillow forts and snacks. Say it. No. As long as you keep talking, people will keep showing up. I. Oh no, Vesper's gonna end her shift. I'm still here on live. How do I make chat leave without being rude or like rising, like bringing up controversial topics? I tried making them hungry earlier. I tried reminding them of things they need to do, like going to the darn gym or doing their laundry. But no, there's still so much. Mhm. We all know you just want to stay longer, but go to bed. I'm trying. I'm like giving myself a mental excuse that it's like, people have left the shop. Another fantastic. Nope, more customers. Look, look. I'm half Chinese. Okay, it's bad for the fortune, for the what do you call it, the feng shui, if I like show customer, no, if I close shop while there still are customers. We will conquer the land. Time for what we call a last call. Last call before closing. Yes. Victory dance. Vesper's gonna be mad if you're still awake. Thank goodness she doesn't know. I guess you're staying open forever. Bat says, okay, gotta go. Good night. My shift is not ended. Good luck in your shift, Marbles. Hey. Thank you again for the Samsung. You really appreciate it. It's nice having you around. It's at 73. Oh, chat has finally found a measure of safety. I mean, mercy for me. Kiwi says, get out. Let us sleep. Okay, where's my funny camera? Okay, I'm going. Where's the focus so bad? Like an uncle trying to use the phone. Hello, is this thing on? What? Oh, it is. Right. Okay. Okay. We finally went below 80 viewers. I can go to bed. Uncle Gebus. Hey, nephew! Come here. Anyway, hold on. I finally can go rest. And yeah, that's it. There's no explaining it. I'm gonna close my eyes. I'm gonna pass out in my bed. I'm gonna wake up hungry. I'm gonna remember I discussed sisig. I'm gonna get hungry and crave sisig. And let me share your stream on multiple Discord. No, not today. Wednesday. I'm about to end. Like 100 billion%. I'm about to end. No, no ordering. I'm gonna go. That's where is the stream end button. That's it. I don't know where it is. Aha! Found it. Okay. You know what? Fine. A little special for everybody. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And I'll see you all in the morning light. This goes for everybody who's about to sleep along with me. Get your rest. Go to the gym. Do the things you need to do. And to everybody else, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I will catch you on Wednesday. Be there, okay? It's nice that I have new regulars. So, yeah. What? You expect me to give you a little forehead kiss? Oh, no. Mm-mm. Oh, mm-mm. I'm seeing a lot of bounty face. I'm stalling again. Bye, chat, is what I would say.